This is Dave Brixius.
And it's your man Joe Cleezy.
And this is the program, the CFA edition, last week of the regular season.
Over.
A couple write-ups that we got. So we'll go over those real quick, and then we'll head into the playoffs.
All right.
And talk about that then. I got the Cedar Cliff Colts midget program, finished the season 8-1, three-way tie for the conference there. Mm-hmm. The defense was firing on all cylinders. They didn't allow any score from New Cumberland. You know, that rivalry game we talked about. So that's a great thing. You know, they moved the ball down the field. Yarnovich put them in scoring position, and then a pass from Deal to Whalen, put them on the board to start it all out. They got a 2-point conversion. They won up 8-0 at half. It was just all about the defense, really. Cedar Cliff defense just definitely knocked everything down, held New Cumberland in check, took care of business, and then leading 8-0 there. They put the game away with the Yarnovich pick, where he took it to the house, and the Colts ended up winning 16-0. Shout outs go to Deal, Yarnovich, Whalen, and Resto, and then for New Cumberland, number 44 and 45. But that just goes, they finished off the season like they needed to, got that W, and I think they might even get. I think they got the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they have the number 1 seed.
I think they have the number 1 seed by winning that. So
yep.
That's a great thing. That big win there got them the number 1 seed. So that's fantastic. Good shout out to Cedar Cliff, also New Cumberland. All the teams that played there.
All right, and of course our weekly report from Coach Stone at Seven Sorrows.
Yes, always.
Well, they didn't fare too well this week, but ultimately all 3 teams actually made the playoffs. So. But I do want to mention the Smirk team. He said they put on a pretty good show. Let's see. Braden Dunn and Matthew Gilhu, hope I said that right, scored touchdowns for the Smirk team. Jamar McKinney also carried the ball pretty well that game. Defensively, Aaron Nordai, McKinney, Stephen Ramsey, and Kristen Mikulski had good defensive games, making lots of tackles. Okay. Actually, he gives a shout out to Middletown too. Tyson Leach, Austin Grimm, and Nicholas Kleinfelter also were standouts for the Smurf team. Again, a whole bunch of write-ups for the other teams. Unfortunately, they all lost, but ultimately, they all made the playoffs. So they all start 0-0 right now. So.
Yep. Anything can happen.
And let's see. Just some quick shout-outs on the Pee Wee side of things. Terrell Daniels, Antonio Kozer, Tate Leach, Julian Nestor, and Terrell Daniels, all from Middletown, scored touchdowns. From Middletown, in the pony level, Jake Kelly, Kobe Brown hooked up for a touchdown pass. Jose Lopez scored 2 touchdowns. And let's see, for Seven Sorrows, Gage Radeball scored a touchdown as well at the pony level. And at the midget level, looks like Brady Fox from Middletown scored a touchdown. They also, let's see, Devin Argamonte added an extra point. And it looks like Matt Schroff from Seven Sorrows also made an interception. And I'll be honest, this is pretty impressive that the Seven Sorrows football coach would actually send in write-ups against Middletown. It kind of threw me off, but once I started reading it, he's giving shout-outs to the Middletown players, too, so...
That's awesome.
I mean, that's just pretty classy.
That's class. You know what I mean? Knowing his team, didn't fare as well. A lot of guys probably wouldn't send much out, maybe a little tiny write-up. Mm-hmm. But he sent it out, giving mad props to Middletown, who had a great year, on all those levels. And they had a fantastic season.
So shout out to Middletown
as well. I mean? Yes. I mean,
I'm impressed.
I give a big shout-out to Coach Stone for doing that every week in and week out for his players, even though they didn't fare as well this year as they had in the past.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
We give an invitation to Coach Stone to come out on the show.
Heck yeah, definitely. We definitely, Coach Stone. Anytime you want, you come up, sit up with us.
All right.
It'd be awesome to have you here. Honestly, it'd be fantastic, especially during the playoff run here.
Indeed.
Give us your insight and knowledge of some of the games, maybe some of the teams that you played against. So if you get a chance, let us know, and we'll put you on, Coach. All right, now getting into the playoffs.
Woo.
All right, so we had a great final week. Some teams got their positioning they wanted. Mm-hmm. Some teams didn't because they didn't do the job here at the end of the season. But just going over the American Conference, I'm just going to touch base real quick here with the Pee Wees. You got to look at York as being the favorite.
Yep.
I mean, they're 9-0. Holy Name's behind them at 7-2. You also have the Packers right behind them at 7-2. But York has just destroyed pretty much everybody. They've rolled through the playoffs. Now, not saying you can't lose.
Right.
I mean, we look at last year, and we look at the Broncos at the midget level. Ended up losing in the Super Bowl.
Right.
To a very disciplined, very good Lingelstown team. So I know York's got to stay focused the whole year, but they're definitely going to be the clear-cut favorites going into this one. Going on to that pony level there, you got the Holy Name team sitting at that 8-1 mark, so they're definitely going to be the favorites. But they've had close games. They played Redland and both Harrisburg have been close games. I remember that was one of the first games of the season. Harrisburg played them, and I think it was a 1-point win for Holy Name. So I think this conference is definitely jumbled up. You also have the other Harrisburg team sitting at 7-2 there in the 4th seed. So this is definitely a bunched up conference where anything can happen. I don't think it's going to be a clear cut, easy all out win there. But Holy Name definitely has the tools. They have the knowledge. They definitely have been there before. I think last year they won the pony level championship Super Bowl. So they're definitely trying to repeat there, which is not easy to do. But they got the tools in place that I think they can definitely do it. It's whether they come ready to play every single game in and game out. And then headed down to that midget level, you got the Packers sitting at 9-0. And they pretty much did their job all year long.
And coming from a season last year where they barely had a team.
Yeah.
And they really didn't have a great season. To see them come back like this, 9-0 for the year.
It's great to see.
Yeah.
Actually, but just like anybody else, it's not an easy road. You got Carlisle, you got Central Dauphin, who's, like I said, always plays a different discipline type football game. So you never know, especially with the head coach over there. Great guy, Tom Dennison, also gets the job done. John Dennison, John Dennison gets the job done game in and game out. Like last year. I know the Broncos were definitely favored for that Super Bowl, but he just comes up with a great game plan, gets the job done. You got Holy Name. I know they lost to Central Dauphin this past week, but they're always out there, Cumberland Valley. This is going to be definitely exciting, I think. I always look forward to seeing some of these teams play because they are right in my backyard. A lot of the kids I know, and it's going to be great to see these guys hammer it out here this upcoming weekend.
A lot of those Holy Name kids came over, for the CFA Media Day too, as well. So, all right, now we jump into the National Conference at the Pee Wee level. New Cumberland, who went undefeated, 9-0. Of course, the number 1 seed behind was Middletown, 8-1. Number 2 seed Mechanicsburg, number 3 seed. Right now it looks like it's New Cumberland's to win, but of course Middletown is right there with them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them match up. You also have actually a good first round matchup between East Pennsboro and Stilton's. I'm not sure who won the match. Actually, Stilton, number 4 seed, East Pennsboro, number 5 seed. So it's pretty wide open. Mechanicsburg can't sleep on them either. So should be a good first round of games. And go to the pony division. Stilton, Mechanicsburg stand out. Stilton went 9-0 for the year, got the number 1 seed. Middletown at 7-2, New Cumberland at 6-3, East Pennsboro at 5-4. So it looks like you might see a Mechanicsburg Middletown matchup in a semifinal playoffs. So
that'd be great. Yeah.
But you also have New Cumberland and East Pennsboro going at it as well. So, and again, 7 stars made the playoffs. So. Then at the midget level, of course, what we talked about earlier, it's probably the most competitive conference, I think.
A 3-way tie
at the national level.
Yeah,
8-1. And amazingly, if you're East Pennsboro, you're probably like, wow, we just beat up on Cedar Cliff, but they have the number 1 seed. And I don't want to say they have the easiest route to the Super Bowl, but they won't have to run into Middletown. On the way there, so but that's not to assume that Cedar Cliff's going to beat everybody, but
no, and and like we said, anything can happen. But you are correct. That's just the way it goes sometimes. How you get the seedings and stuff like that. Cedar Cliff did his job at the end of the season. They did slip up to East Penn and got beat, but they came back and they could have hung their heads. But they, rivalry game, they took care of business and they beat New Cumberland. So you got to give the hats off to those guys over there. Middletown, I mean. You look down the 3, you look at the Pee Wee, the Pony, and the Midgets. They're right there towards the top of all of them.
Yes.
So they've had that's a program. That's when you say, hey, we have a program. Not just a team, we have a program going on.
Only 4 losses between
exactly. And looking back years ago, and looking at it when it was just, a smaller conference, the CFA was smaller, it reminded me of some of the Holy Name teams, where they would go into some of these Super Bowls and they would sweep I think they did that twice, where the Pee-wees won, the ponies won, the midgets won. You know what I mean? That's where you talk about a program. You know what I mean? Where these teams just come in, boom, 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 and you just feed yourself on.
Right.
You know, now you're starting to not see that quite as much anymore, where, you know, where the midget program might be good, but the pony's off or whatever, and you're seeing more of that. But I got to give a shout out to Middletown, because they're right at the top of all. You know, the Pee-wees are the 2 seed, the ponies are the 3, and you got the midgets there as the 2, and he can easily win. Any of those 3 teams can come out.
So they're
championship.
going to be really spread out.
Yes. Yes, they are. They're going to be all over the place.
All right.
And then headed down to that federal conference. You know, we talked about this one a little bit, because I know they don't get always the press that, you know, your main conferences we always talk about and stuff. Yeah, and we definitely do. We definitely give it out to the federal conference, because I don't think enough people look at those guys. But you got Northern as the number 1 seed down there in the Pee-wee, followed by West Perry, and then you got a drop off. You know, you got 9-0, 8-1 West Perry, and then all of a sudden you got, you know, the 3rd seeds, the Boiling Springs, at 5-3.
Right.
So you do have that drop off. So you definitely had some separation there. So we'll see what happens with that. With Northern, should go all the way, you know, but you never know what can happen.
And you know, and the key, you know, for coaches, you know, of course, again, we're talking about young kids, is making sure the kids don't, you know, take that attitude like, oh, we can just show up and beat a team.
Yeah. Like, hey, we beat these guys by 40 points in the regular season. We got to play them again. It's going to be no problem. We're looking ahead to the next round. Mm-hmm. That happens. Yeah. It happens even at the high school, college, and pro level. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. But talking about that pony level, then we got a flip flop here. You got West Perry 9-0, and then you got Northern as a number 2 seed at 8-1, and then you got Boiling Springs at 7-2. So you're seeing 3 teams that are pretty much at the pony and the Pee-wee level. Those 3 teams have just flip flopped pretty much around.
Yep.
You know, around there, and showing their stats all the way up from those 2 areas, from those 2 levels, and then headed it up to the midget level. You got Greenwood sitting at 9-0, Boiling Springs 8-1. You got Juniata, and then Northern. And then you got Halifax right behind them. You can't sleep on Halifax. I know their coach well. He does a great job up there. Gets those kids. Doesn't have a huge program to pull from. You know, it's not like, hey, I got 60 kids to choose, and this is what, you know, I can play whoever. He usually has a small pool, and he does a great job with that, bringing those guys together. So you can't never sleep out on those guys. But nobody. I mean, honestly, I'm looking really forward to this playoff. I mean, if you're not looking forward to this and you're not hype about what's going to go on here, I don't know. I really don't know what gets you hyped, because you got these kids that are going to come out that have been playing since July, you know, practicing since July, and here they are now. You're right. The slate goes 0-0. You know, you have no wins, no losses right now. Anything can happen at any time. You could have a rainstorm, and the number 1 seed could lose to the 8 seed. You know, is it likely? No, but it can definitely happen, and that's what you got to like about playoff football. Unlike college football, where you have these bowl games, you know, somebody else decides. This is what it's all about right here. You're going to decide it on the field, see who's going to come out and get the victory, and then you go on to the next round and see what happens in the next round, and then eventually to the Super Bowl. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that's so awesome that they do this, and as you can tell by me, I'm hyped. I know you're hyped. You were talking before we got on camera. You're going out. You're like, I can't go out Friday night. I got to save my energy for Saturday and Sunday.
Indeed, because I'm here flip flopping through these papers and the schedule. I mean, it's a whole bunch of playoff sites.
Awesome.
Saturday and Sunday, and you gotta give credit to the whole organization that puts these together, and credit to the people that provide these host these sites.
You know, because you don't have to, and you know, people offer up their fields, and I know some teams do it, and you know, they get, you know, some of their teams play there. Mm-hmm. You know, so maybe some of the benefit there, but in all honesty, I mean, to give up your site. You know what I mean? To say, hey, all right, yeah, you guys can continue to use here and do this and this and this, and they still do it. But I mean, just to organize this. I mean, I was looking over today. I'm like, how the heck did they figure this out?
Well, I saw the email, so. No, but seriously, Coach.
You're right.
I know, you know, Warren Ritter.
Yeah, awesome guy.
Hate the name drop. I know he's one of the main guys that puts these schedules together. Mr. Grabari.
Awesome. You know,
awesome.
These guys to take the time out and do this. And I was talking to somebody who's not even from the area today. And it was interesting. I was talking about this conference, this football conference. And I know Joe and I are always very high on it. But he talked to me. He said, you know, are a lot of parents involved in the administrative part? And I said, you know what? I think that's what's great about it. I said, you don't have the parents involved at the top. You know what I mean? The parents are involved, but it's, you know, outside. So it's not just, all right, well, you know, my son plays here, blah, blah, blah. You know, you get that. And that's what you want. You know, you want to see where it's fair. All right, cool. This is what's going on. Okay, this team's going over here. They're not playing favorites where, okay, well, I gave you this because I like you. No, it's all about, all right, this is how it's going to be. We're going to put it out as fair as we can, and you guys go and you run with it. And you got to win. And sometimes you got to win on the road. I mean, that's what it's all about. If you're going to win the Super Bowl, unless you're the home team hosting that game, which I don't think anybody is, because I think it's at Landis Field, if I'm not mistaken, or Steeling, or something like that. Unless you're stealing, you got to play on the road to win the Super Bowl. You know, and I think that's what it's all about. You know, these teams coming together.
You know, and at the end of the day, really, I don't think it's even the kids that even care. I think
No.
they play anywhere. You know,
that's
you put them
awesome.
at.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And you know, for somebody watching this, want to know more information, you know, where the playoffs at, where they can find the brackets. The website is www.football-seasoncat.org. That's www.football-cfa.org. And, you know, you can get scores from last week, actually for the whole season.
Yeah, he does a great
Upcoming
job.
schedule for the next month.
You can get
Maybe next
the
year.
archives for how long back? Like 10
Yeah, I mean,
years. He has it all. I go back and look at stuff and I'm like, wow.
it's
he
up
still
there.
has it.
I've personally seen
Yes.
it, so he's...
You've seen the inner workings of it, I
He's
think.
the gatekeeper of all things
Yes.
CFA.
Which
so.
is good. Which is good. I mean, you can go back and look. I think that's important, that you see some of your history and stuff like that. And he does a great job of keeping that up to date and doing that kind of stuff.
But I can't stress enough how excited I am about the playoffs. I mean, you know, we've been following it, you know, the whole season. But as you said, I'm gonna make a personal.
You will see us out there.
I will be out there.
Yes,
We're
you
gonna be
will
out
see us out. You'll see us out this week, next week, Super Bowl, and the Turnpike Classic.
Senior Bowl
Yep,
games.
all that.
And
We'll be there. We'll be there with hopefully our booth. So you guys come up, stop up. Maybe we get you on tape and give you a shout out.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? We can get you guys going. And kids stop on in, coaches stop, and we can give you guys a shout out. If you see us, definitely stop us and say, hey, whatever. If you like to come on out, we usually tape Tuesday night. Usually around 7:45, you guys come on out to Explosive Sports Performance, and we'll get you on. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, if a coach and you want to get on camera and stuff, we'll definitely do that for you.
And as usual, you can see this episode and other episodes on payswag.net. You can look up the program on YouTube, and also, you know, we post it on Penn Live now as well. So, and also we definitely check out the Pennsylvania Elite Football Academy.
Yep.
That's coming. So
definitely on that website, the PA Swag website, it's up there too. It's all the information. Definitely, if you're looking to get your kids some more training, fundamentals is what we're really going to be preaching here. The fundamental part of it, not just hey, let's go out there and we're just going to run around. It's definitely going to be about the speed, the quickness, the explosion, fundamental teaching. Get these kids to be, when they do things, do them properly, so they limit their chances of getting hurt. And that's what we want to do.
And more importantly, you know, they'll come back to you next year even better.
That's the key when you guys get them. But
See
even
coaches.
as parents, yeah. So even as
And your
parents,
parents.
yeah.
Right.
That's what we want to do. Keep them healthy, keep them strong, keep them safe. You know, get them as good as we possibly can get them. Help them to, as I always try to say, unleash their potential.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? And that's the important thing. But best of luck to all the teams out there, coaches, reps, players. Best of luck. I know it's fresh start. So if you didn't have the best of seasons, you still got a chance. You know what I mean? If you made the playoffs, you still have a chance. Anything can happen. You know, you never know. So just go out there and play as hard as you can. Enjoy what you do. But thank you guys for watching this. I know we've been getting some good views, some good feedback from people.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, some people who say, man, I don't even know you guys did this and stuff like that, and getting great feedback from all kind of people. But thank you so much for your guys' support. And we'll continue to hammer it out. We'll be back next week. First round will be done. You'll probably see Joe out. You'll probably see me out somewhere hunting around. Joe's a little more. You'll definitely see Joe a little bit more with that camera
that
everywhere.
sideline pass too.
Yeah.
I'll at you this week.
Joe will definitely have his camera in hand, so you can't miss him. Definitely go up, tell Joe what's up, and he'll get you on camera, and we'll definitely get you on here. All right, well, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate it. This is Dave Brixius.
This is Joe Cleezy.
And this is the program.